Today I'm driving a 1973 Camaro.
This is a 1966 Shelby GT350.
The block is out of a 74 Alfa, the head's out of a 1990 Alfa. It's kind of a mongrel.
There are many car lovers and collectors in Central Virginia, and twice a month they gather in Charlottesville for a cup of joe and conversation. Join us as we catch up with cars and coffee. Come on.
What I've brought today is a 1981 American LaFrance fire truck. I've always kind of been involved with the fire departments or ambulance services. I was a police officer for a while, and I missed having it. I missed driving them. So I decided just to buy my own instead of joining the fire department.
My grandmother, she always gave me these car calendars. And over time I just started to really enjoy the look of a car, the shape of a car, just how there were all these different kinds of cars.
Predilection for speed, I guess. I'm kind of a tech head. I like discovering how these things work and all the complex ways humans have taken explosions and used that for forward travel.
I think everybody's got a story about, oh yeah, I had an uncle that had a blah, 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 or my mom and dad used to have da, 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 da. And everybody's got that little thing in the back of their head, when, there's some emotional attachment to something that happened in their lives that was cool, that really involved a car.
Yeah. Bates, what makes you a car enthusiast?
Oh, I just enjoy the cars and all the many different things you can do with them, whether it's a show car or a race car or just a fun car, and all the different people that are involved in playing with cars.
How about you, Dan?
I think it's partly a fascination with mechanical things, but it's also because sports cars, which is what we kind of focus on, are a lot of fun to drive, both at a reasonable pace on the highway, but on the track when you can do a track day or when you actually have a chance to go on track and race.
And Jeffrey?
Sometimes it's kind of an affordability thing. The cars that I really want are way out of my range, and so you get what you can, and then in order to keep it on the road, you got to be able to work on it yourself and take care of it and do everything about it. And all that then ends up being part of the people equation. Getting to know the folks who know how to do things with them and want to share ideas, and then the culture kind of grows from there, and that's part of what draws me into it.
And you do that. You get together the first and third Saturday of every month for coffee and conversation about cars. Dan, tell me about this.
So we get together at Greenberry's on Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock, twice a month, first and third Saturdays, like you said, and it's sort of an eclectic group of car people, guys, gals, sports cars, old American cars, European, and some very interesting trucks as well. And it's just a chance to get together and sort of look at what somebody's doing, what they've done recently to their car, what their plans are, also to plan car activities like going to one of the professional sports car races or something like that.
All this stuff brings up the nostalgia too. When you see a Corvette from the 60s, it reminds you a lot of college and people you knew that had them, and the fact that you wish you had one.
We're missing just one. My dad had to work, but he would have brought his car as well. So I'm here with my Camaro, and my husband's here with his fire truck, which, by the way, I didn't realize that a recreational fire truck was a thing you could actually have until he got one. And then my brother's here with a G-Wagon, and my other brother's here with an old BMW, and I don't know, it's just something to do. Feels satisfying to finish something.
I think car guys generally like horsepower because we have special nerves on our backs that respond to being pressed into the back of the seat as you accelerate. Most people don't have those, but we do.
Pretty much if it has wheels and an engine, it's liable to show up there, and everyone's enthusiastic about everything, whatever they have, whether it's shiny or whether it's, not so shiny.
Yeah, and Dan, people collect cars for different reasons. Some people just want to restore them and take them to shows, and some people want to race them. Elaborate on that.
I think that Jeffrey hit on something when he said none of us are terribly well heeled, so we all tend to work on our own cars a lot, and probably have nicer cars than we could drive otherwise, and that's sort of a common thread with a lot of car people. A lot of car people do a lot of their own work and help one another with their cars. In fact, that's kind of how Bates and I in many ways got to know one another, was working on each other's cars a long time ago.
In an earlier conversation, you were saying there's a real art form to knowing how to go out and choose a car, find a car that you can afford. Okay, you're laughing, so this is for you.
Well, you go out and you fall in love with something, and you take it home, and then you find out what's wrong with it, and then you figure out how to fix it.
That's not the art form, I don't think. Because
And then the more effort you put into it, the more married to it you become. And
That's the reality of
That's
the
the
art
reality.
form.
that's the gravity, you know. My God, I put this much work into it. I can't let it go. I've got to keep
You'll
it.
never get the money back in many cases. It's still like a long-term relationship. But the art form really is having a great car that you otherwise couldn't afford because you figured out how to do a lot of stuff yourself, or how to acquire parts or expertise so that you can do things yourself. And we help one another.
See the far right one, that's your gas. That's what makes you go fast. And then the middle one, that's your brake pedal. The brake pedal is probably the most important part, because if you can't stop, you can't go fast. You know, guys just like come in and talking about their own cars. They don't always have to be running to have fun. It's just a lot of fun to see all the different machines out here. And so we thought it'd be fun to bring out this race car and put it up against and put it beside other actual Camaros, Mustangs, you know, Porsches, just all those kind of fun things that it shows the very different aspects of something on four wheels.
This is an Alfa Romeo Spider, made in Italy. I got it in the 90s, and it was a kind of a basket case, and I stripped it down to bare metal and rebuilt the engine. It's got a lot of performance stuff in it. The other things that I bring to Cars and Coffee are old motorcycles, so I can just alternate, you know.
I do own a car, but I absolutely hate the feel of being caged. So I don't like the enclosed feeling of it. I like the open wind, and I don't know. The idea of being able to escape situations at the twist of a throttle is a kind of a nice little novel concept.
okay, let's talk about some of the cars that you all collect. So, Bates, I'm standing next to this car, which you actually built from scratch.
Yes,
right?
it was a frame and a whole pile of parts that came here on 3 different trailers. And I had to make quite a number of parts to make it, because the parts didn't fit. And the car's name is Patience, because it took longer than I ever expected it would take.
And it's a Morgan?
Yes, 66 Morgan 4.4 competition version. Weighs about 1,500 pounds, has about 100 horsepower. It wasn't really that hard. Dan helped. He was up here, and we were like, gosh, it worked.
I love that. Oh, I love that. Well, and then how many different cars do you have at the moment?
I think about 6.
And what
I
are
own
what different cars?
This car.
Okay.
This
and
is an 86 Porsche 944 Turbo, which is a bargain right now for amazing, wonderful car that it is. And it didn't cost very much money, and people think I'm some European playboy when I'm driving it. But
is that part of it too?
no, not necessarily. My ego doesn't need. I don't care. I like the car.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. Okay. And other cars. What else do you have?
I have a Volkswagen Beetle that's sitting outside, and I have a Volkswagen van that has a Subaru engine in it, which is a whole nother story. And then I have a Porsche 914 that I'm working on that's on a rotisserie in the back of the shop right now, and which means there's nothing there but a body. It's naked. There's nothing on it at all.
Okay, what cars do you have?
I have 3 that I drive on a regular basis. I have a old Porsche 911. I have a car that's it's actually was probably made within a month of this car. It's just like this, but a different color. It's a Porsche 944 Turbo. And I drive back and forth to the airport for travel and running errands on the weekend. I have an old Saab 9000 Aero that's also a great car. And then there's a whole fleet of other vehicles in the family that my family members use.
Yeah.
But,
All right, Jeffrey's laughing. Is that because you have a lot more?
No.
So what do you have?
I've got my trusty 1998 Dodge truck, and I've got a 2000 Boxster S that I've built into a race car, and I've got a 1999 Porsche Carrera 4 that's in pieces in my garage right now because it had a little trouble.
So what do your spouses think of these cars, this hobby?
I think our
passion?
spouses are enablers. We couldn't do this and spend the amount of time we do doing this if we didn't have spouses that allowed us to do this,
Yeah.
that saw this as something that was beneficial.
They understand that we could have way worse hobbies.
Yeah.
I hear words. Yeah, I hear words to that effect. You know, we don't have bad habits. We play with cars and we hang out together, and
I know, what else
generally don't get in
Pretty
trouble.
easy to find me.
I have a car bug for sure, and my wife doesn't like it because it ends up with me buying vehicles and trading them very quickly most of the time.
I got the car bug from my dad. He was into cars and bikes, and he raced back in the early 50s in the heyday of sports car racing in California, Southern California, and I guess that might have something to do with it.
Cars mean something different to us than they do to normal people. And my wife and I joke about this all the time. She doesn't understand it quite how I got into this, but I've been like this ever since I can remember.
So if someone is interested in getting into cars, they're thinking about getting into cars, what is your advice for them?
Get in, let's go for a ride.
That's part of it. You'd also ask them if there was a particular car that they already have an interest in. Like people often talk to us about old Porsches or Porsches in general, and my advice is go to some of the Porsche meets. Find out, when those are going to be, and just go and talk to some of the people there. Get to know some of the folks that are doing it, see if it actually really fits for you. Most of the people will offer you a ride.
And if you have a certain car that you have some love affair with for whatever reason, that may be the car. Go see why you shouldn't buy it.
Oh, I love that. Go see why you shouldn't buy it.
Learn all the reasons why you shouldn't and you still want to, you probably will.
Every car has its good points and bad points.
A lot of people ask me what it's like to drive a fire truck. This particular fire truck has a really short wheelbase. The wheels steer behind you instead of in front of you, so it makes the turns tighter. It's not much different than driving a car, to be honest with you.
I don't like to complain a whole lot about being a girl in cars, but it's sometimes difficult to find a group of people who are good about girls being around cars, and so I really love this core group here. It's really worth making the drive.
Anybody that's into cars can find something, and it's really about the people. We just enjoy getting together and hanging out and swapping lies, and it's all about loving cars and motorcycles.
Cars and Coffee incorporate two of my loves, cars and coffee. So it's a nice gathering. There are no trophies, guys and gals just here to have a good time, talk about cars.
The torch is obviously being passed to younger people, and I think it's good for them to hear about, the older cars, and so there's a real appreciation, and there is a sense of keeping the car culture alive.